What has Cardano been doing lately? Okay, well, this is going to be very interesting as we look into just recently, Cardano has surpassed Bitcoin and Ethereum in their 1 year price performance. Okay, so very interesting to note. And this is going to be a storyline that we do look into right now. And moving forward, I think that a lot of people have kind of been on the opposite argument of Cardano, saying that it is just basically dead. It's a ghost chain. I've heard it all. You guys are very much outspoken in the comments, and that's a good thing, right? You want to be involved with the crypto that you do have conviction in. And as we relate it to ADA, this is going to be a pretty big mover because I got to be honest with you guys, I was kind of surprised myself talking about this, okay? So just briefly, I want to touch upon what we're doing here on the charts, and it's been something where I've talked about it, right? I've had this this trend line drawn for quite some time. And as we look back and basically date this to when we had this breakout, okay, and this is going back into 2024, as we zoom in a little bit to what we're talking about, this has been something where Cardano has shown some nice steady growth. And as this trend line does continue to emerge, it's one where we have continued upon this track, and we've broken down. We've had some rejection, 1, 2, 3, 4, even 5, potentially 5 opportunities to fall and collapse. But still, we've rebounded nicely, and we've never really given up this trend line that I have drawn here. And you can see this right now as we are just hovering above it in current price. And that's something that I think we need to hold on to. Okay, so if we do kind of fall into this narrative that this is something that is going to provide us with some stability, a floor, if you will, with some of the price action, it's what is going to take us to returning to above $1 and beyond. And that's kind of the bull case for Cardano. Okay, who knows if we'll get back to $1.30 very shortly, but I think that it's very interesting to note and tie it into this article in specific, because I think it is something that a lot of traders kind of fail to realize as we get deeper into the analysis within what ADA is actually doing. Okay, so as we get going, I do want to share with you guys Bitunix. This is my trusted exchange, what I use to trade futures and spot. Right now, one of the hottest promotions going, and it's something where there's over 3 million plus global users, and right now, a 25% deposit bonus to your futures account through September 11th. So if you do want to take advantage of this promotion, start trading on Bitunix today. Just remember to do your due diligence and to understand their terms and conditions. And if Bitunix is right for you and where you're located, start trading today. Link is down below. Okay. So kind of back into this article that I want to talk about. This is where we see a very interesting move within the entire crypto sector. Cardano has outpaced Bitcoin and Ethereum in terms of percentage price growth in the last 12 years. Yes, it's very easy to compare this to the fact that, yeah, Ethereum was almost $5,000. Bitcoin hit all-time highs at 124K, but it's still a very huge achievement, and one that needs to be highlighted for Cardano's growth, because this is something where we saw a 33 cents price tag back on September 2nd of 2024. And for context, this is something where Bitcoin since that date has increased 90%. But Cardano, on the other hand, 141%, okay? So there you go. Now, also, conversely, Ethereum went up about 72% from that $2,500 price level to over $4,390 in that same time period. So that there's a lot of differences within kind of what they provide within a blockchain, okay? We all know how Cardano runs on a proof of stake mechanism. But within this, guys, this is where it all makes sense. Now, comparing Cardano to Bitcoin to Ethereum, yeah, there's going to be major differences. And I think that if you take things for what they're considered, okay, in terms of percentage price growth, I just wanted to highlight that because that's the big take-home message of this piece, because I think that's something where a lot of traders and Cardano traders alike, who myself included, I'm down. I'm down from the majority of Cardano that I have added to my wallets and my positions. But I've also allowed myself to dollar cost average into positions where you can pretty much hold on to this take-home message, where we are up since that time period back where Cardano was trading at 33 cents. I was a buyer below 25. I also was a buyer above $2.90 for transparency's sake. So we're not always going to make great trades, but this is kind of where we look into why this is happening, okay? Growing adoption in emerging markets, recent upgrades, as we talked about, and the investor appetite for scalable and sustainable blockchain solutions. Now, the one thing I'll tell you guys is, from a comparison's sake, a lot of people just simply look at price tags, okay? And a lot of people I know personally, they'll look at Bitcoin and say, well, I can't afford Bitcoin. It's too expensive for me. It's over $100,000 right now. They don't really understand the concept of tokenomics and how you don't have to own a full Bitcoin. but that's a conversation for another day. Also with Ethereum, right? That's one that nobody really saw that move above 4,000 coming. It was waiting, it happened, but nobody really saw it coming. So Ethereum was a crypto that normally I just use for transactional purposes. It's not really a buy and hold for me personally, but all things considered, when Ethereum was trading around $700, that was one where just basically talking with people in the space, it was a trade that you almost couldn't afford not to take because Ethereum just should not be a $700 crypto. So that was one of the only times that it was a buy and hold for me personally. But for Cardano, it's a completely different mindset. All right. I bought my first ADA with the expectation that one day it would be a $9 to $12 crypto at the end of the run. And that would be when I would consider exiting some of my positions. That's just what I'm doing personally. I'm never going to tell you to buy or sell crypto. It's not financial advice. But as we do look for the broader implications and what we need to kind of hone in on, I think this is very important to place these numbers in a contextual manner, okay? Because this is where we've seen a 141% rise for ADA, where Bitcoin has only risen by more than 51,000. So yes, that is one where you look at it for a 46 cents gain, relatively speaking to a $51,000 gain. But for a percentage standpoint, Cardano has been outperforming Ethereum and Bitcoin. And I think that a lot of traders kind of see this being misleading because the real world effect for retail, when I talked about it within the actual price of an asset, Cardano's under $1. Bitcoin's over 100,000. So you never really kind of understand and really consider this as actually meaningful. But when you look at the price percentage, this is something where Cardano has been winning over the last year. And this snapshot is relative to just basically September, and it's not actually representative of the real-time market fluctuations. But that's just kind of where we're at as we look back at the dates from 2024 to 2025. So in that 365-day period, Cardano has been outperforming Ethereum and Bitcoin. All right. So that's what I'm gonna leave you with. Okay. So hopefully that does kind of a feel-good piece, if you will. But that's what I wanted to share with you guys here in this video. I appreciate all my Cardano returning subscribers for tuning in and giving me a couple minutes of your time. If you haven't hit that subscribe button, please join us here on the channel. We talk crypto and Cardano each and every single day. And that's pretty much a take-home message. So leave a comment down below. Did this shock you hearing about the win, I guess you would say, for ADA holders in the last 365 days from that September 2nd to the other September 2nd in just 1 year's time? All right, so leave a comment. Let me know your thoughts and reactions, and I thank you again. We'll see you all in the next video. Cheers.